Hello everyone, this is Mr. Rodney and I welcome you all back once again to my channel where we talk about everything recording. I know so many times you have felt like this or have even felt like that. But today we're going to be helping you get out of this trouble. We're going to be giving you some infos that will make it easier for you to understand your journey as an engineer, a music producer, or even a mastering engineer. But before we go on, like I will always tell you to always subscribe to my channel, like my videos, turn on the notification buttons to always have you updated whenever we drop a new video, and also do not forget to share them to encourage us to giving you more videos. Today we're going to be helping you get out of this trouble. We're going to be giving some of the infos that me personally I wish I knew, I wish somebody had told me earlier when I started. I wish I figured them out, but good enough, so the time I figured them out, it changed my mixing and production life entirely. It made me a better producer, it made me a better engineer. These are some of the things I'm going to be dishing out today if you stick with me for a while. I have them in three parts. Number one is getting started and identifying the problems. 2 is knowing and picking your tools. While 3 is creating a workflow. I'll start by telling you about them in details. The number one, getting started and identifying the problems. When I said getting started, not like I mean the day you decided you're going to be an engineer or music producer or mastering engineer. Let's take for instance, you've already been producing and mixing, but you have been finding it difficult to get the sound you have been wishing, the sound that you have in your mind. You don't know how to recreate them. Now, for a moment, we are going to pretend as if we are just going to reset everything and start afresh. If you have been producing for a while, if you have been mixing and you find it difficult to replicating the sound that you have in your head, to actually putting them out so that when you listen to them, it feels like it sounds the same like the sound you have already, that the mixes that you love. So here are the ways I think you should go about them. Now let's talk about your experience. For how long have you been producing? For how long have you been mixing? For how long have you been mastering? Have you been putting work every day? Of course, it's not going to be that easy. It's not just a one-day thing. But we will start by talking about your experience. The truth about music production, about your journey as an engineer is this: whatever work you must put the required work. It is not. There's no way. There's no shortcut about it. There's no way you can already become a qualified or an established engineer in just one day. You have to invest your time in honing your skills. You see, there's no already made expert. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're going to do, however you're going to do it, you must have invested some quality time in honing your skill and making you become that person that you want. Let's talk about the 10,000 hours rule. As you know that like I said, there are no already made experts. What this simply means by investing 10,000 hours in your journey as a music engineer is you must do it every day. Like the compilation, the summation of how much time you need to invest in the music production in your journey as an engineer must equal 10,000. Even more than, before you will even start understanding what you're doing, before you will even start identifying what problems that you have with your recordings that you need to fix. It's not going to be an easy journey. It's not going to be a one-day thing. Of course, there are tools out there that can make you work faster, but before you even start using the tools or you understand how to apply these tools, you must have spent your time to understanding what melody is. You must have spent your time to understanding what music production is. So you must invest quality time to get quality output. There is no shortcut about it. Whoever tells you that it's easy, is telling you a big lie. So you must invest your quality time to it. You must do it every day. You must do it every now and then for you to get to where you want to be. So as you invest your time in it, that's when you will start understanding where the problems are. That's where you will start understanding your EQs, how your compressors react, how you to combine melodies together for you to make music. No matter how the kind of AI you use, if you don't understand how the AIs work, you can't use them. You cannot make music. First and foremost, you have to understand, you have to getting started, you must have to understand, have invested some quality time in it. Of course, when I started, I thought it was just overnight, and I was actually getting worried that my sound is not where it should be. But as time goes on, as I do it every day, day in, day out, I started realizing that this all that it needs to be for me to get there is continuous practice, exercise. That's when with continuous practice, you start understanding where the problems are and how you can fix them. I think that is that for the number one, getting started and identifying the problems. Then we're going to be talking about the number two, which is knowing, understanding, and picking your tools. Understanding and picking your tools. This is the second one we're going to be considering now. So when I say knowing and understanding your tools or picking your tools, what I mean is knowing your strength both financially and the materials that are available to you, knowing how to put them into work to getting the sound that you have been desiring, like the sound that you want. Of course, we all know that the common goal there, the bottom line there is getting the sound that is pleasant to the ear, the sound you have the hunger for. So knowing how to put the materials that are available to you into work to getting this sound, it's very, very important. Sometimes you may not have the money for the kind of studio that you desire. Are you going to wait until you get the money? No, you must be working. Sometimes, like you see when you see some established engineers, producers, when you look at the tools they use, some of them don't use the best, the most expensive tools, but they use the ones that they understand, the one that make them do this work easier. You must understand the tools that are available to you. Sometimes you have the urge to get every shiny plugins that is advertised that comes on your feed, on your social media feed. There's this hunger to get them, but it's not the best way to go around them. The best way to go around them is the ones that you have, the compressors that you use every day. Make sure that you understand them, the saturators, even your monitor, even your room. Of course, if your room is not treated, I'm not trying to say that you should work in a room that is not treated, but if money is if in a case where the money is not available, the best thing to do is understand how this room sounds. Understand the output on your studio monitor, understand the output on your headphone, understand how to drive that compressor or that saturator to get the sound, the desired sound, know when to stop, and that is the second, that is all that is in picking your tools. Picking, I don't like the sound of this, but I like the sound of that. I don't like how this monitor sounds. Of course, it's more expensive, but I don't think I like it. But I love the sound of this one. I know how to get to this one. I don't easily add plugins to my workflow. I don't easily add plugins. Take my time before I can add any plugins. But I already have some of the plugins that I like their sound. That not just that I like their sound, that I know what to do to them to get what I want out of them. So most most new producers, most new engineers, they always want to get the best. They always want to get the one that their idols are using, the one that their favorite engineers are using. But it's not the way to go. Sometimes you may not even have the provisions for these things. You may not have money for them. But you can use the stock plugins in your DAW to get the exact sound that you want. So you should always understand that you must understand your tools. No matter the kind of studio they put you in, if you don't understand the tools that are there, if you don't understand the system, if you don't understand the sound, if you don't understand the speakers, you cannot work there. You cannot get desired output there. So you must have to understand whatever you're work towards understanding, and whatever you have in your possession, no matter if you have your mic, if you have whatever you have that in your studio or where you're working, you must try to understand how these things work. You must understand how to put them into use. You must understand, you must equally understand your strength as a person. You must understand how to maximize whatever is left in you, that whenever you find yourself, whatever that you have around you, to make good use of them. That is it for knowing and understanding your tools or picking your tools. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are at number 3 now, which is creating a workflow. I must be honest with you, this is my favorite. It's my favorite in the sense that that's when you know that you have arrived. That's when you no longer find it difficult getting the sound that you want. So what is creating a workflow? Creating a workflow, in my opinion, is like creating a pattern. You know, out of the years that you have worked, evaluating the things that have worked for you and putting them into your work. Knowing what works and what does not work. Choosing some of the things that, not because they are expensive, not because they are very cheap, but you just include whatever it is, going above and beyond, even breaking the rules or even working within rules, just to get in the sound that you have always wanted. This is the final destination to getting a good sound out of your system. Take, for instance, some of us use cheap headphones, cheap earpods, or even cheap boom players, or even go to the club to check our sounds. Why is it so? It's because they have created this as their work. Sometimes you might even be listening, and some people who are not into music, who are not producers, who are not into music, we will be wondering why you are listening to this over and over again. It is because this is what works for you. When you listen like that, you can actually identify where the problems are. Or you maybe take for instance, you have considered that most listeners won't be listening to their sounds in the studio. So sometimes you decide to go out of the studio, or you even use listen to in less than ideal environment, or less than ideal playback instruments. Creating a workflow can mean so many things to so many people. Like, I know this producer who would say, this engineer who says he likes mixing in the morning, that he doesn't mix in the night. You know, someone might just listen to it and say, oh, you're a producer, you should be able to do it every now and then. But I think that works for him. That's what works for him. So he chooses that, and it helps him give out the best that he can. So he has chosen that, he has created that, he has put that into his workflow. So it can mean working with presets or even templates. Personally, I don't work with templates. I just start whatever I want to work, I'll start everything over. But some people like to work with presets, they like to work with templates. They create templates for different kind of music that they are working on. So this is their workflow, this is what works for them. So it can require you putting things together. It can mean the environment that you like to work in. It can mean how you like to start. It can mean creating templates. It can mean choosing monitors out of plenty monitors. It does not matter. Here, you don't talk about the price. You don't talk about how good people say they are. You don't talk about the hype. You don't talk about the shiny plugins. You just choose the ones that you have over the years evaluated. Over the years you have used them. Over the years you have seen, you have failed, and you have risen out of these things. You have succeeded with this one. You say, oh, I'm going to be using this. This is what works for me now. Even if you're trying to add more, you're going to be doing them gradually as a pro that you are. You'll be doing them gradually, but you already know what works for you, and you already have a workflow. This is one of the things that establishes you as a seasoned engineer. So you must work. There's no shortcut to these things. There's no jumping queues here. You must work from them, like from number one, which is getting started and identifying the problems. When you have you're able to identify the problems, that's when you start choosing the tools, knowing the tools that can fix these problems better. Then from choosing the tools, which is number two, picking your tools, which is the number two, then to creating a workflow, creating a pattern, a style that works for you, creating the pattern that makes you a professional, creating the pattern that makes the job easier, creating the pattern that makes you deliver faster. Every now and then when you feel like, oh, I need to get to where this person is, I need to do this. Now, first you have to think about how much time have you invested in this? How many times how many times do you do them in a week? How many hours do you do them in daily? How much hour have you invested into this? Do you even know what you're doing? Do you even know what the problems are? You know, if you're not an engineer, or maybe you're a new engineer, sometimes if you're in a room, everything will be sounding boomy, sounding like, you know, you can easily be swept away by the sound that you hear when you're in a closed environment like the studio. But a time will come when these things are no longer, you can be able to identify what problem you're hearing in a sound where you're in the studio. Then from there, you move to the next one. From there, you become a pro. From there, you create a workflow, you create a pattern, you create a style. You create that even the younger ones who are coming after you will be looking up to it. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today's video, and I hope I have been able to help you understand in some of the things that you have been struggling with. My desire is just so that you understand them and know how to put them into work. Till I come your way next time, I still remain Mr. Rodney from Platinum Mix. Please, like I said earlier, do subscribe to my video, turn on the notification button, like my videos, and share them so that I will be able to put out more videos. Thank you very much.